Isn't this a nice background? Behind me you see my laundry, at least parts of it, and you see my curtains over there because my cat peed into my curtains to show that he is the boss, you see. It's a male cat and of course it's not neutered. Well, and he thought it would be a good idea to let me know. I noticed. Oh well, I noticed. Anyway, today I want to make another video about some questions that I got, and these questions regard my favorite camera channels, and I did not really look these questions through by now. I just copied them and I will answer them on the go as I read them. So the title of this video today is what are your favorite camera channels? Let's go. So first question. Who's my favorite when it comes to camera content and why? It's not that easy. Well, I think my favorite camera channel when it comes to gear, to specific gear, and with a little bit of, well, the touch of humor would be Camera Conspiracies. I like to watch his videos. They're funny, and he presents the gear with a lot of samples. And I think he gives his honest opinion about this. And of course, he tries out a lot regarding 3D pop effect. So I think this would be my go-to channel when it comes to camera gear. At least the first channel. And I think this is what the question meant. Second question. Which creator helped me learn the most about photography? Which creator helped me most? When I learned a lot about photography, it was about 12 years ago or 11 years ago. And the channels that I watched then were like Matt Granger or Jared Polin. I do not think it was the beginning of his channel, but he was relatively fresh back then. And I enjoyed his work regarding Nikon. Same goes for Matt Granger. I enjoyed his Nikon videos and his gear reviews of the Nikon cameras and lenses. I would not say learn. I shot movies or short films when I was about 18 or 17, 16 years old. So when I was 16 years old, it was in 2002. And I learned it by myself, so there was no channel where I learned how to do it, how to make videos or how to film or something. I just shot my movies, or not my short films or my short presentations. We made a lot of bike movies and some project for school and so on. I shot them on the old VHS-C camera as a Panasonic. I still got it from 1992. So no, there is no channel where I would say I learned about photography. I learned about gear back then, Matt Granger, Jared Polin, but other than that, I would not say I learned. Third question. Is there a channel that I watch more for personality than for gear talk? Yes. Oh yes. It again would be Camera Conspiracies. I watch it not because I think that he does in-depth gear reviews, right? And I do not think that this is what his channel is intended. His channel is just lightheaded fun. It is, it's funny. It's fun, and still he presents the gear and he tells me what I want to know. Like he compared lenses and systems against each other with good footage, and I enjoyed his comparisons. So it would be Camera Conspiracies also. Who gives the most honest reviews, no sugarcoating? I think none of these channels, they do not coat. They do not sugarcoat. They do not tell me that the lens is good if the lens is bad. So I could not point my finger onto a specific channel. Let me think about it, but no, they're not sugarcoating. Nowadays, I think the reviews are more or less, they're realistic because they're not getting paid to do so. Some channels maybe do, and they coat a little, maybe, but these are not channels that I watch, so none of my channels that I watch, they do not coat. So if they make a review, I trust these reviews. Focus budget gear. If I prefer watching channels about budget gear or channels about expensive pro gear. Well, I enjoy both. I sometimes watch channels like Jared Polin still. Sometimes I watch McGranger. It's very photography-centric. And it's good. He has some Hasselblads and so on, and I enjoy what he's doing. And then I watch some channels like Mark Bennett or Mark Reynolds. They focus, I think, more on budget gear, and I like how they present it, and they find good budget options. I enjoy that. And professional gear, some other channels like Marcus Pix, for example. Marcus Pix, he has so many cameras and so many different gear options and so on, but he still decides to shoot on cheaper versions sometimes. I like that. Und beste Grüße gehen raus an dich, wenn du dieses Video sehen solltest. Yeah, I think it's a good mixture, right? Sometimes I like to see specific content to specific lenses or for a specific effect, like the 3D pop effect, and we will get to that. But other times I want to just see the sample footage of some very cheap glass like TT Artisan or Brighton Star or 7 Artisans or all these lenses, and I think Mark Bennett and Mark Reynolds, they do it in a very good manner. Let's change perspective. So before going on with the next question, is there any 3D pop? We are on the A6700 with the Samyang 35mm f1.8. Should not, but sometimes I was not so sure. Next question. Is there a smaller, underrated channel that I think deserves more viewers? Well, yes. There are some channels that are relatively small, but I really like the content they create. And this would be Walter Lyle, for example. I think his photos look absolutely fantastic. He uses vintage glass, he uses Fuji cameras, and I watched a lot of his videos. He has not so many videos, but the pictures he takes with these old vintage lenses, old Zeiss lenses, for example, I really enjoyed how he does it, and I enjoy his color grading. Another channel would be, let me think, Snappiness. Snappiness, it's a guy that uses older cameras, DSLR, or he got some, I think as he pointed it out, some junk that he shoots. And I enjoyed his videos about shooting an old Pentax medium format camera and so on. So these channels, I think, they are very entertaining. It's not that you learn a lot about new stuff, but they are very entertaining. And they give good example from the gear they use. So I think, yes, these channels, in my opinion, deserve more attention. 7th question. Do I follow any creators specific that focus on vintage glass or modern glass? No, I don't. There's no... I like the complexity of photography or videography. So no, I would not say that I follow a channel specifically for the use of vintage glass or of just modern glass. You see, there are channels like Jared Polin. He always has the latest glass and he does a lot for the community and so on, and good videos. But when I want to know something about this, I watch this channel. And if I want to know something about vintage glass, I watch another channel. Or as I already mentioned, budget channels, budget lenses. Then I watch Mark Reynolds or Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis, for example. So no, there's no specific to that. So 8th question. What do I look for in gear review? Specs, storytelling, sample footage. Well, I do not care about the specs because I can look these specs up. When I make some camera videos or gear videos, lens videos, I sometimes tell you about the specs, like when I say it's a Samyang 35mm 1.8, but I do not think that you want to know how the filter thread, which size the filter thread has or something. If you really are interested in these lenses, I think you would look them up. You would look the specs up, like the lens combination, whatever, the lens elements, everything you want to know, I think you know already, and what you want to see is how it looks when it shoots. Like this, for example, like the Samyang. Now you see how it shoots, how it looks, how it could potentially look. I think this is the more interesting aspect. You can look these specs up. I would be interested in cross-sections of all these lenses that I use, because from the cross-sections I could maybe tell if this lens has the potential to produce some 3D pop or not. But other than that, no. So I'm not interested in specs. I'm interested in sample footage that, that provides me with an information, with a visual information of what I want to shoot too, right? Like when I want to see if this lens has 3D pop and the creator talks about how sharp this lens is, I'm not learning anything about the 3D pop if this lens produces this. I would be interested in seeing some footage, just plain footage without testing out the sharpness from corner to corner, something, just footage. This is something I'm interested in. What the hell? Last question. If I could collaborate with someone, who would it be? What kind of video would you make? Well, 2 actually. Or maybe 3. First one would be Dirty Photography Club. I would like to discuss 3D pop and aspects of 3D pop, how it is created, presented to us, and why and how we can achieve it. I would discuss it with Dirty Photography Club and make a video about this. Then I would like to make a 3D pop shootout with Camera Conspiracies maybe. Like Samjang 35 versus Voigtlander 35 or something like that. The rest, well, I could not collaborate with Marcus Pix because he just got too many cameras and he has too many options, so I could come with my 2 cameras to make a shootout with something, but he would not gain anything from that. So, and he's not focused on that effect. He just loves photography and he's good at it. I really like his pictures. That's it for this video, I think. Got everything? Yes, I got everything. 9 questions and that's all. So, that's it. See you in the next one.